Welcome to the Whole Food Plant-Based Cooking Show, where we make plant-based cooking easy. I'm Jill, and today we're going to make dry beans cooked in 3 different ways.
It's the all-free whole food plant-based cooking show.
First of all, I hope you all are doing okay and you're doing well at home. So today I'm going to talk to you about cooking dry beans, because this is a great staple food to have, especially in times like this when maybe some of your other food supplies are running out. Dry beans are a great resource. So I have 2 examples to show you here. You can always go for the canned beans. They're great. I probably paid about $1 for these. But what I'm going to talk to you about cooking today is dry beans. And this is a pound of dry beans. And I think I paid maybe $2 for that, but you can get these cheaper in just your local store. So one of these bags will make 4 cans. So it's a really great savings, and also beans will last on the shelf dry like this for years. So you don't have to worry about spoilage. Cans, the same thing, they'll last for a long time, but you're gonna run out of your cans, I'm sure, quicker than this. But I'm gonna show you how to do this so that you can make these beans, freeze them up, make a bunch of them, and then you can keep them in the freezer for a few months if you need to, or just Tupperware them up and put them in the refrigerator. So we're just going to get started. So with dry beans, you need to soak them first, because a lot of times there might be a little bit of chaff from harvesting or some little stones that are still in there. So what I do is I put them in a colander like this that has holes in it, and I run water over it and just swirl it around with my hand, just to get any kind of dirt or debris off of it first. And then I put it in my containers, and I have my slow cooker here, or my crock pot, my stovetop just pan, soup pan, and I've got the InstantPot. So I'm going to show you how to do all 3 to make sure that you have at least one of these. So this is 1 pound of beans that I put in each pan, and I put 10 cups of water. So 1 pound of dry beans, 10 cups of water. That's a good thing, because you don't want them to, when they soak overnight, they're going to bulk up and they're going to soak up a lot of that water, and you don't want them to get halfway through the night and soak up all that water and sit there dry. So 10 cups of water, make sure that it stays covered. So I've soaked each one of these overnight, and there's a lot of debate out there whether you should soak or not soak. I'm kind of in favor of the soaking method, because there are enzymes that keep these guys, when they're in this form, from sprouting. So when you soak, the water soaks through the seed husk and releases that. I think it's phytic acid or phytic acid, something like that. But it's a nutrient inhibitor. So you kind of want to soak that out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this pan, or each of these pans, pour that back into the colander, get rid of that water, because that's going to have that nutrient inhibitor in the water. Pour that out, rinse them a little bit, and put them back in the pan. And I'll see you in just a sec. Okay, so now that I've got all of my beans rinsed, now I need to replace the water. So just a good rule of thumb is that you need to put 4 times the amount of water of the beans. And this is doubled in size, so 1 cup of beans is about 2 cups, or I'm sorry, 1 pound of beans is about 2 cups. So it will double to almost 4. So we're going to do quite a bit of water. It's like 16 cups of water. But I don't think it needs quite 16 cups. I think this is, let's see, this is 4 and this is 8. So we've got 12. I'm just going to start with that. That seems like plenty of water to me. And even as a good rule of thumb, if you don't want to measure your water, I usually go up to about 2 inches, which is about 2 of your knuckles. And I just put my finger down in the water to make sure that the beans are covered with about 2 knuckles of water. And then we're going to get this started cooking. So I'm going to put this on my stovetop, and I'm going to put it on bring it up to a boil, and then take it down to a low simmer. And that's probably going to cook from anywhere from 2 to 3 hours. So you'll just have to watch it. And it also depends on the age of your beans. If they've been on the shelf for a long time, it's going to take them longer to cook. So it's just, you know, it's a pretty wide area of time that it could be 2 hours, it could be 4. So you're just going to have to watch them. And if it dries out, if it runs out of water, you're going to have to add a little bit of water. The same thing with my slow cooker. I'm going to add water up 2 knuckles past, so 2 inches past that. And I'm going to turn this on low heat for 6 hours. And then I'm going to put the same amount of water in here in my Instant Pot, and I'm going to program that on high pressure for 22 minutes. And then I'll show you. While we're waiting for that, I'd like to share with you some background on our show. The Whole Food Plant-Based Cooking Show is a crowd-funded show, which means our content is made possible by the generous patronage of our paid membership community, who share our common goal to teach the world how to easily and permanently switch to a plant-based diet. My husband and I create these free weekly cooking shows to share all of the delicious recipes that we use every day in our own family kitchen. Our recipes are now used by hundreds of thousands of viewers every month from all over the world. Our paid memberships offer additional perks like access to our ebooks and in-depth courses, including our 28 Days Plant-Based Made Easy course, where we offer a step-by-step guide to making the switch to a fully plant-based diet. With meal plans, shopping guides, daily learning materials, and over 65 of our favorite recipes. If you love our content and find it's helping you to live your best plant-based life, please join us on our mission to share this life-changing message with the world and become a supporting member today by following the link in the description. It is the continued growth of our supporting member community that makes this show possible. Okay, let's get back to the show. Okay guys, so all 3 are done. Of course, these 2 got done way faster than the crock-pot method, but I have almost the same results all the way across. So these beans must have been really fresh because it didn't take nearly the amount of time that I thought it would. So the 22 minutes on the Instant Pot was probably just a little bit too long. And the stovetop method took about an hour and 15 minutes really. And these are both just slightly overcooked, but that is perfectly okay because you know what you can do with pinto beans when they're slightly overcooked? You make bean dip. So we've got plenty of beans to make bean dip, or you can make a bean dip where you blend it. Oh my gosh, so delicious. So they're not ruined. If they're a little bit overcooked, no problem. You just make it into something else. So the crock pot, they're nice. They're still just slightly firm. Turned out great, but that only took about 4 hours in my crock pot. So overall, great. So beans, so if you're new to eating beans, yes, you're going to have gas. It's just a fact of life. Beans are going to give you a little bit of gas. And that might be because your gut flora isn't quite used to eating that much of beans because they're loaded with fiber. So don't worry about it so much. Hopefully the people you're living with won't mind it that much either because they're going to be eating the same food, but maybe just be careful of how many candles you have going in your house. Ha ha ha, just kidding. So I'm going to grab a bowl and we're going to meet you at the table. Okay, I've got my beans here guys, and I thought I'd share with you how I like to eat my beans. I like them really simple. I've got some of our nacho cheese sauce here, and I'll give you a link to that recipe in the details below. And if you're wondering how to use your beans, we've got some other recipes that have beans in them. One is a greens and beans, and the other is a bean dip. So I'll give you those links in the details below. I like hot sauce. I like to put some hot sauce on mine. This is just a smoky chipotle pepper hot sauce. It's pretty tasty. Let's give it a taste. I'm telling you guys, once you try making your own beans and taste the flavor difference between this and canned beans, you're never going to go back to canned beans. These are excellent. So go ahead and like this video, and I'll see you next time.